Hey guys, Luke here. First things first, before we get on, I'm going to do another DVD collection video. But first thing I want to do is apologise for the dip in quality that you may be experiencing from my previous videos. Unfortunately, this is due to circumstances beyond my control. My computer died, so I'm now using an older computer with an older webcam. So, I mean, from what I can tell, the quality is lower. Maybe you can't really tell. I'll bring it a bit closer. But from what I can tell, it is. So, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, my computer died. I lost a lot of stuff. I mean, I can't get it to boot back up or anything. But I lost a lot of important stuff. You know, I was keeping a list of all the films that I watched this year in order to do something a bit special with it towards the end of the year. I lost some episodes of the podcast that we had pre-recorded, lined up to go out. On that note, in the video description there will be a link to the podcast, as there always is on my videos pretty much. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's gutting, you know, works in progress and stuff, all lost, and for what? But, you know, life goes on, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. I mean, let's get on with the DVD collection video, shall we? Okay, so we're starting off with a franchise that I am sure you're all familiar with. In fact, I'm going to motor through these pretty quickly because, you know, I don't feel like there's much point in talking about them. It's the James Bond movies. So, got to know the first Bond movie, obviously Sean Connery as 007, comes with a very nice couple of booklets and little insert and questionnaire and stuff, which is always interesting to see because these are, you know, pretty old DVDs. But yeah, that's one of my favourite Bond movies. I think it's my favourite with Sean Connery. That might be Thunderball, actually. I'd have to think about that. Next up, possibly my favourite Bond film, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the only one that starred George Lazenby. I believe it is pronounced Lazenby. It could be Lazenby. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Yeah, really, really great film. This is a very cool one. Lazenby was definitely a really, really cool Bond. I love this one. I love On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Like I say, might be my favourite. Okay, so next up we've got Roger Moore, The Ultimate Collection. This is all 7 Roger Moore fronted Bond movies. So we'll show you these. These are all 2 discs, Ultimate Editions, which is very cool. So this is Live and Let Die, the debut, I believe. I think so. Yeah, that's a pretty good movie. I like Live and Let Die. Here we have The Man with the Golden Gun. I don't like that one as much, if I recall. The Spy Who Loved Me. This is one of his best, I'd say. One of Moore's best, The Spy Who Loved Me. Moonraker. Now, a lot of people slag this one off, but I'm a big fan of Moonraker, and I always have been. One of my favourite Bond films, actually, I've got to say. And what? This is For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, that's a load of shit, if I remember. Octopussy. That is also a load of old tosh, if I recall correctly. And A View to a Kill. Yeah, that one I definitely know was fucking crap. But yeah, that's the Roger Moore collection. With the Bond movies, I'm not the biggest Bond fan, but I kind of thought, well, you see them everywhere, like the DVDs everywhere in like second-hand shops and stuff. So I thought, if I see them cheap, I'll pick them up. And so it's kind of become my sort of pet project to see if I can collect all the Bond movies, spending like the minimum amount of money possible. And it's going pretty well so far. So next up, Tomorrow Never Dies. This is the second Pierce Brosnan Bond film. Here's the next Bond that I am closest to completing after after George Lazenby, who only did one, and Roger Moore, who I've got the box set of. So yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. I can't remember. I don't think I've even seen this one. I might have to watch this after we're done here. Next up, one that I don't think I'm fairly certain I don't like this one. To be honest, aside from fucking Goldeneye, all the Brosnan Bond movies sort of mould into one for me. But yeah, This Is the World Is Not Enough. It's okay, I think. I can't remember, to be honest. And this one's a load of old toot. Die Another Day. Yeah. This is probably the worst one, actually, of all of them. 2 discs though, so there's, you know, plenty of extra features to not care about. Okay, this one's good. This is a real return to form. This is Daniel Craig in Casino Royale in a lovely slipcase. I'm going to be getting rid of this one though, for reasons you'll see in a minute. That's 2 discs as well. And I'm going to be getting rid of it because I managed to find this very cheap. This is the Daniel Craig collection, although it is 1 film short. This is Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace and Skyfall. There is no Spectre on this. But yeah, no, I'm actually, to be honest, I mean, I'm not such a big fan of Quantum of Solace, and I haven't seen Spectre, but Casino Royale and Skyfall are both really, really good Bond movies. So, I mean, I think he's been a pretty good Bond. So we're out of the Bonds now, and we are into some of the more standard stuff that we'll be used to from my channel. This is Drag Me to Hell. This is an ex-rental of Drag Me to Hell. I'm sure you probably can't see it because the camera is shite, but it does say rental copy along the top there. And it is on a very plain looking disc, as these rentals often were, with a bunch of like ads for the upcoming movies and stuff, resale restricted. This disc is so thin. I know you can't see, but I can actually see the other side of the disc through that. That is amazing. I was just looking to check because, I mean, like, ex-rental discs are such a fucking minefield. I mean, some of them are in such bad condition. So that's one thing that you've got to be careful of if you're, you know, collecting DVDs and stuff. But about the film, Drag Me to Hell is Sam Raimi returning to horror after doing the Spider-Man movies for quite a while. Yeah, I quite like Drag Me to Hell. I mean, I think Sam Raimi has proven time and again that he's a talented director. This is a very, very good movie, Drag Me to Hell. A chick gets haunted by some sort of curse, and she has to sort of try and find out what's going on and try to get, you know, the curse broken. And it just keeps going wrong. There's all sorts of crazy levitation and stuff going on. I really enjoyed it. Not my usual sort of thing, this sort of hex movies and stuff, but, you know, this one I did enjoy. Not too much blood and violence, if I remember rightly. Okay, so next up is a movie that caused an absolute uproar of a storm in the UK. The Driller Killer. This was banned for many, many years in this country. It was one of the key titles in the Video Nasty debate here in the UK. Which obviously stokes its reputation. The fact that it was obviously banned for a long time, it was prosecuted as being obscene. Of course, now it's very, very easy to get hold of in the UK on account of the fact that it is quite a well-known film here, because of the fact that it was so controversial, and the fact that it is in the public domain, hence anyone can release it. So, yeah, it's a very easy film to come by. I mean, I know that they've come up in Poundland every now and then. People have said that they found the Driller Killer in Poundland. But yeah, this is a cool movie. It's not really what people expect it to be. It's essentially quite a sort of like urban drama about a guy who is kind of losing his grip on his sanity. He's obviously got a lot of family issues. And kind of he reaches the point where he becomes like obsessed with the idea of killing homeless men, So he takes to the street with his power drill and begins fucking them up, basically. It is it's not really the sort of fun thrill ride that people expect from it, given, you know, the title and whatever, but it is a really well constructed movie, very dark movie, very depressing, very grim, very gritty. No, I really like The Driller Killer, actually. I'm one of its more vocal fans, overall. Okay, next up, this is one of the oldest DVDs that I bought first hand. Like, I bought this a long time ago, like sort of 10, 12 years ago, I guess. This is Dumb and Dumber, the uncut version. This is extended. It does say on the back somewhere, how much longer is it? 6 minutes extended. Which I can't remember that much extra stuff, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, the additional stuff, I do remember thinking, man, this really doesn't add an awful lot to the film. You know, it was mostly just guff. But yeah, no, this is cool because it does come with a bunch of special features that are not on the standard version, which is always cool. I mean, there's interviews with the cast and crew and stuff. This is one of my favourite comedy films, actually. I think in terms of like slapstick type humour, this is kind of this is at the top of the tree. It's directed by the Farrelly brothers. Great stuff. Harry and Lloyd, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, great in this movie. Road movie. They're going to Aspen, Colorado from. Is it Rhode Island? They live at. And they go across country to return a briefcase that they don't realise is actually a ransom that they've sort of stolen, but they think they're just returning to its rightful owner. Hilarious movie, Dumb and Dumber. It's killer, man. I really love the original Dumb and Dumber. So next up we have Dumb and Dumber and Dumberer. This is a combo pack that brings both the original movie. I'll show you. There is the original movie. This is the standard edition that is not extended. Just brings the original film, which is cool. I mean, the original. The theatrical cut has got all. They chose the right stuff to leave out from the theatrical cut. But this is the prequel, Dumb and Dumberer. Now, this is a film that a lot of people forget about. In fact, it seems a bit like the kind of the property owners have kind of disowned it, because I mean, you may have noticed that in the most recent movie, Dumb and Dumber 2, they totally disregarded the kind of stuff of this, and it's sort of non-canon, really. So yeah, you've got no Jim Carrey, no Jeff Daniels, two other actors. I've no idea who they even are. I mean, it's it's shit. It's really shit, man. I won't talk about that one any longer. I won't stuff up your time with me talking about that one. This one was a little bit better, but this one, to be honest, I mean, Dumb and Dumber 2, I saw this in the theatre when it came out. And I mean, I enjoyed it. There's certainly some good laughs in it, but I feel like they got the spirit wrong of the movie. They went too stupid, if that makes sense. Like Harry and Lloyd in the original movie, yes, they were very stupid, but they were kind of believably stupid. There are people actually that stupid, in real world that you meet in the day-to-day, whereas in this movie, they went too far into the territory of, they're not real characters really at all. They're caricatures, they don't know what sex is and that sort of thing. It's just a bit stupid. Like I say, in the original they were kind of believable as human beings, which they're not in Dumb and Dumber 2. But that's not to say that there aren't some really good laughs in it. There's 3 or 4 really good laughs in that movie, and they are, to be honest, the more conventional style of jokes that could have been in the original. Before I get any deeper into a review of Dumb and Dumber 2, yeah, it's an okay movie. A lot of people spoke about how disappointing it was and all that sort of thing when it came out. I didn't really find that. I found it, it was okay, was kind of my thought. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2. Okay, next up, this was one of the finds of the century. I found this brand new in the shrink in a cash converters, I think it was, for 50p. This is Dune, the David Lynch movie with Sting and Carl McLachlan and Patrick Stewart and whoever else. Yeah, this is a really old DVD. What year's on this? 99. Wow. I didn't realise they were even doing DVDs in the snapcases in 99. It seems like that came in a bit later from what I recall. But yeah, this is not as bad as people say. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably David Lynch's worst movie, I would say. I mean, I really like David Lynch, but I like his Lynch stuff, like the stuff that you see and you think, man, that's David Lynch. I like Eraserhead, Lost Highway, all that sort of thing. This isn't really that. I mean, there's elements of it. There's definitely elements of his kind of signature style in there, but not that much. But Dune's okay. I mean, a lot of people give it, give it a really hard time. I know that it was marketed very aggressively at the time it came out and was a real bomb at the box office. Like, it was originally supposed to set in motion a series and just didn't. I guess kind of in a way I'm glad that David Lynch's attempt to transfer into the major mainstream was unsuccessful, because I mean that was what led him on the path back to do some of his best movies. Obviously the movie he did after this was Blue Velvet. So maybe it was a good thing all in all that he didn't break it into the mainstream, although I kind of wish he did, because he's one of those filmmakers that I think only real film nerds ever talk about his films. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish more people would see the likes of Eraserhead and Blue Velvet. But yeah, no, this is an okay film. Alright, let's talk about a film I only got very recently, and I watched for the first time today actually. This is Eden Lake. As you can see, it's still got all the scabby stickers from CEX on it that I couldn't quite get off. I'm going to have a go at getting them off later. Yeah, Eden Lake. This is. I was attracted to this one because I saw that it's a British horror movie, and we don't make enough horror in this country, to be very frank. Oh, what's this? Oh, just one of those catalogue things. Cool. So this. This is an interesting one. This is a very well made film. Very well made. Very well put together. The script is pretty good. The concept is pretty good. It's about a couple who go away to a lake, Eden Lake, and end up being kind of trapped and terrorised by a gang of young hoodies, sort of ruffians to anyone who's not aware of what a hoodie is. So that happens, and it all descends into madness and violence and sorry, I've just noticed on the front that the Daily Mail's giving it 5 stars. Why that's so funny I will explain in a moment. But Eden Lake, like I say, it was a very well put together movie. The gore was great in it. The gore scenes were very unflinching, very uncomfortable to watch. And I've got to credit it for that. That was a great repressive atmosphere. I also loved the fact that it wore its influences sort of on its sleeve, but it didn't go to lengths to copy them. It was obviously influenced by Last House on the Left, Straw Dogs, movies like that. There were a couple of major things that I didn't like about it. The first one, and this is the less major of the things that I didn't like about it, and it's that the plot relies quite heavily on cliche. There is a lot of cliche in the plot that should have been taken out. Really, for me personally, I think that could have been left alone. The other thing is that, and maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe it's just an exploitation movie, but the movie was so classist. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get it out there. It's a film about two nice, polite, middle-class people who, for no reason, get kind of trapped and slaughtered by these awful working-class yobs, and that's why I was laughing, because of the Daily Mail giving it 5 stars, because that's right up their alley. And like I say, maybe I'm reading too much into it, because it is just an exploitation movie, but kind of that just feels not particularly savoury to me. I felt like the movie, and to be honest, it got to a point where it felt like there was going to be some sort of salvation, like there was going to be like this big moment where it turned out that there was kind of more going on with the kind of the class struggle in the film, but there just wasn't. It was literally just some fucking middle class people, nice polite middle class people getting killed by horrible oiks, that didn't sit right with me personally. But I mean, other than that, the film was okay, I guess. It's very well made, and it is a brutal watch. So that I've got to give it credit for. It is very, very unpleasant in that regard. But yeah, no, that's Eden Lake. A very, very mixed bag. So next up, we've got the movie that brought David Lynch his mainstream success. I mean, we spoke about Dune, which obviously was kind of the attempt to bring him into like the Spielberg level mainstream. But this is the movie that kind of got him his big critical attention. Obviously, there was Oscars won for this movie, The Elephant Man. I think it got 8 nominations. A real classic movie, I've got to say. I think that The Elephant Man is excellent. It's this and Eraserhead. That's so hard though. I'm trying to think my favourite David Lynch movie, and it might be The Elephant Man, it might be Eraserhead, it might be Blue Velvet, might be Lost Highway, I'm really not sure. But yeah, no, this is The Elephant Man. John Hurt and Anthony Hopkins, play... what's the name of his character? Dr. Treves, who kind of meets John Hurt, the Elephant Man, and they kind of develop a friendship and a bond that develops over time. They... he rescues him from the freak show. He becomes a part of society. It's a really, really touching, very sad story. It really will get you here, I've got to say. So yeah, that's The Elephant Man. Really, really great movie. Okay, so next one. This is one that I don't remember quite why I got this. Well, I kind of know, but I don't remember getting it. This is the 1966 FIFA World Cup final, England versus West Germany, as the country was obviously divided at the time. I mean, I picked it up. Obviously, it must have been because I am a football fan, big football fan, and I wanted the greatest moment in the history of English football on DVD. But it's not actually a very good game. It's kind of from a football point of view. It's a very maybe I'm just not used to like the older style of playing. Obviously, I'm relatively young. I've only been I only know football from like the last sort of 10-15 years really. But yeah, it's got the whole game on it, including extra time. It's got a highlights reel and a goals reel. I won't go on about this one too long because I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this who just don't care about the 1966 World Cup final. But that's that. Okay, so next up we have got the best film of its genre. This is great when this happens. And I don't mean to be cliched in saying this, but I think most people agree that it's true. The best martial arts movie of all time is Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee, John Saxon. What the fuck was the guy called? What's the... You know, the... I don't think it's on here. The black guy. I forgot his name. Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly, yeah. And Bob Wall. Bob Wall's in it as well, isn't he? Yeah, I think so. But yeah. Yeah, Bob Wall's the guy with the scar. Fuck it, I haven't seen this movie in so long. Fuck it, I'm watching this after I'm done. This is a dual disc. This is a very old DVD. So it's got the bonus features on the other side of the disc, which I always like seeing. Reminds me of simpler times. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, Enter the Dragon. A martial artist played by Bruce Lee gets entered into a mysterious martial arts tournament to try and track down a bunch of women who've gone missing on the island where it's taking place, and the mysterious Mr. Han, with his stone hand that he can replace with like a razor Wolverine type thing, and various other implements. Yeah, great movie, classic. Alright, next up, I do have the original movie in this series. This next movie I'm going to show you is a sequel, but the movie is in a box set that I won't be showing until later on. This is the just the sequel. Escape from LA. Man, what a fucking weird movie. So yeah, obviously this is John Carpenter's sequel to his own very successful and also acclaimed film, Escape from New York. Now, much unlike Escape from New York, this is basically the same film, only with really, really bad, very, very dated CGI, and it's basically the same movie, only stupid, like really stupid. I don't see how anyone would sort of say that this was a worthwhile movie, especially as a successor to a movie as good as Escape from New York. I mean, you know, Kurt Russell's pretty good in it. I've got to give credit for to him, and Bruce Campbell was pretty funny in it. But overall, Escape from LA, just, I would say avoid. It's not a very good movie, but you probably don't need me to tell you that. Alright, next up, one of my favourite movies of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, my favourite Jim Carrey movie. Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet in a sci-fi romance thing. But yeah, no, this is a movie that I'm not going to explain much about the plot of to you, because I don't think... if you want to see it, I would kind of suggest going into it cold a little bit. But it's kind of related to two people who meet each other that may have met before, and it's kind of a romantic drama all about memory and the idea of wiping memories and all sorts of things, and I guess deja vu and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, amazing movie. I love it. It's amazing film. Okay, so now we have got one of the best trilogies in the history of horror. The Evil Dead trilogy, of course. So this has got The Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, subtitled Dead by Dawn in a lot of places, and of course Army of Darkness. Sam Raimi's classic trilogy of horror / comedy movies, all starring Bruce Campbell. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the first Evil Dead movie, you know, people describe it as a horror comedy, and it's not a horror comedy in the same way that the second one is. It's a horror comedy in the sense that it's a horror movie, but once you actually kind of remove yourself from it, you realise that the film's basically a joke. It's, you know, it's a goofy movie that knows it's goofy. The second movie is an all-out horror comedy. It is scary, it's gory, it's funny, all in one, and I love it. Great movie, probably my favourite in the series. And Army of Darkness is where it's sort of the horror element got stripped away, and it was kind of fantasy, adventure, comedy with elements of horror. Army of Darkness is okay, but it's definitely the weakest of the three. I really can't pick between the first one and the second one. I mean, I tell people the second one, but I mean the first one is amazing too. Really great blood and guts horror in the first part, and then like really great laughs in the second part. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's the Evil Dead trilogy. Fuck it, we'll end on this one. We'll end on a movie I hate. Evil Dead, the 2013 remake. I saw this in the theatre when it came out. I believe I was 18. I think it came out in 2013, so I would have been 18. Yeah, this movie fucking blows. It took all of the things that made the original movie great and just totally did away with them. I mean, everything that you like about the Evil Dead is not in this movie. It doesn't have the atmosphere or the vibe of the original movies, which is one of the most important things in a remake. It doesn't have the same philosophy. It has the blood and the guts, but it doesn't have anything else. It doesn't have the kind of the wry humour. It doesn't have any of that sort of thing in it, which is very, very important to an Evil Dead movie as far as I'm concerned. That is the thing that the Evil Dead movies are known for, is that they were kind of, especially the first one, was this really scary, terrifying movie with lots of blood and guts and flying limbs and whatever else. But once you actually kind of pulled away and sort of looked at it with kind of less terrified eyes, you realised that it was this big joke. And this film is a big joke, but not in that way. It wasn't like having a trick played on you. It was like, man, they really thought they could get away with something this bad. And I mean, as a standalone movie, it'd be okay, but it's not a standalone movie. It's bearing the name of an icon of horror. And I don't like it. I don't like the Evil Dead remake. Fucking whatever. Sue me. So that'll do it for the week. Make sure to check back in a couple of weeks' time when I will be doing this again, hopefully. Maybe I'll try and find a better way of doing it that isn't this shitty quality that you have had to contend with this week. Sorry about that, I really am. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen.